Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic Less Known Classics. This episode number 2006 and Doubleshot number 1900. Like in the case of the last video, we actually have a finale for a particular run. And another epic collection. Yep. First up we got Deadpool by Daniel Wade, the complete collection. This collects issues 50 to 63 of Deadpool Volume 2, the last 14 issues of this whole run. Now, there is basically this sort of a plot thread that basically goes on these issues. And what plot thread is that? Kill Deadpool. Well, he wants people to kill him, per se. Yes. And we also get tied up with X-Force. Yes, we're basically having X-Force, the lineup that basically that Rick Remender assembled, make a guest star appearance in the pages of Deadpool for some issues. Now, Daniel Wade does pretty much all the writing here, obviously. We have a total of 6 artists on these 14 issues. For issue 50 of this particular run, it's done by Carl Barari, one artist. We have Ali Garza's 5154, and 61 to 62. So majority is done by Ali Garza. Sean Crystal does issues 55-57. 58 to 60 is Saval Aspen. Felipe Andre does issue 60, the final issue of this run. And of course, Manito Elati co-does issue 62 with Ali Garza. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much what we got here. First up, basically, we have Deadpool getting rid of the evil Deadpool character, who actually is the just prior to this. Though the character would pop up again in Deadpool Kills Deadpool, where they kill off again. So, yeah, and we have a guest appearance in here by X-Force. I believe this was actually one of, during the whole 35-issue run, I believe this is actually 2 times they actually been outside of that book at the period of time, because I think Marvel really wanted to keep Rick Remender's X-Force very well contained to their own book. Now you might be asking, during the period of time King X-Force was published, did they actually have the mega guest appearance pages of Wolverine? Nope. Never did. The only 2 books they ever did technically appear in was they popped up in this book, obviously, and they also popped up in the pages of, of all things, basically an issue of Wolverine and the X-Men. And that's it. That's literally what they did with this book. I'm not sure exactly what was the purpose of basically keeping all the other books, but actually, scratch that. I'm trying to think, was there actually a book? Well, during this run, they wanted to keep this group a secret. So, mostly, they just made this one-off guest appearance in, of course, Wolverine X-Men. And that's it. Because apparently Wolverine had this thing where, after the events of Messiah Complex, despite the fact that Cyclops did order the disbandment of X-Force, Wolverine's like, okay, but kept the back of anyways. But he has one rule: nobody knows, but the first person ever found out about this version of X-Force existed, because Wolverine worked so hard to keep this lineup a secret from the X-Men. This only lasted a year before Beast and Kitty Pryde found out about it in the pages of Wolverine X-Men. Who was the first person to find out about this lineup? Why, it was basically Magneto. Yes, Magneto. And he basically blackmailed them. Okay, I'll keep my mouth shut about your team. In exchange, go kill this old Nazi. That's it. That's all he had to do. And Wolverine's like, sure, fine. As long as I keep my mouth shut. And that's it. So, mostly put, basically, we have them go on a mission. So, then we also get Sirens by Daken, of course. Now you're probably thinking, why would Daken appear in the pages of Deadpool? Well, there's a reason for that. Actually, there's a couple reasons. 1, Daniel Wade created this guy. And 2, he had his own comic at this point in time. Yeah, he had the Dark Wolverine book, I believe, was published at this point in time. This was just prior to his death. Excuse me. Yes. And of course, here's the strange thing, though. In this issue here, We have Typhoid Mary wearing this outfit here, covering up her chest. So later on, they do have wear a different attire, with her jacket open for reasons. Oh, by the way, you probably know this thing about Nightcrawler. Why does he have the lightning bolt across his eye? And why is his hair different? Well, here's kind of the strange thing. At the time these issues came out, Nightcrawler was dead in the Marvel Universe. He came back about 2 years after this book concluded. He came back in 2013 in the opening story arc for Amazing X-Men. Now, this Nightcrawler is not the 616 Nightcrawler. Oh no. This guy is from Age Apocalypse. They picked him from the storyline Dark Angel Rising. It was an 8-part story arc in the pages of that book. So you could say this actually is set after that particular storyline, but probably before the events. I mean, given the fact Phantom X is here, I'd probably say that this whole set of issues here is set between, I would say probably, in my opinion, this is probably for the events of Final Execution. Yes, you could say it's after the events of Dark Angel Saga, possibly. And aside from having, Doc in here, we also get their appearance here by Tombstone. Yes, Tombstone. Oh yeah, this like Wolf's is in here. And look, here's Typhoid Mary. Now, for some reason, her outfit's drawn like this. Later on, they have her a little more exposed here when it comes to her chest. Yes. But of course, gets the appearance by Spider-Man. Now, here's a question you might be asking. Nick, did Danny Way, prior to these issues, has he ever written anything for Spider-Man? Honestly, no. Not really. So, the whole thing about these issues is trying to kill off Deadpool. That's really the whole thing, because he really wants to die, so later on he gets his healing fact taken away, though it gets restored before the run is concluded. Yeah, and mostly just running from X-Force and like a lot of people. And of course he dug the Intelligentsia, which was a group of people who made debut pages of Hulk. Volume 2, this is a Jeff Loeb creation. Most of the Intelligentsia is mostly made up of Marvel's smartest supervillains. That's simply put basically what this group, the purpose, I mean, the biggest thing they contribute to the Marvel Universe is actually two contributions. They turned General Ross into Red Hulk, and they turned Betty Ross into Red She-Hulk. And they tried to take over the world multiple times. Aside from that, there's not much else basically this group is known for. Yep. So, this book is just pure awesomeness at its finest. And Daniel Way does a great job with this book. I'm giving this book a 9.5 out of 10. Final thoughts on Daniel Way's run for Deadpool. This is definitely a great run. Oh yeah, it is. Excuse me. Unlike the volumes came afterwards, this actually was the last volume to reach issue 60. Because here's the strange thing. Every single Deadpool volume that came out of this one couldn't even reach issue 50. Like the run that came out of this one by Gary Duggan. 45 issues before I got relaunched number 1. Yeah, seriously. And then I think like that one lasted for like a little over 30 issues before we restarted to the triple digit numbering. And then it's not to last very long. And then basically like they relaunched it. Scotty Young got canceled after, get this, 15 issues. Yes, for some reason that Deadpool couldn't last very long. I think it launched again under Kelly Thompson, and that run lasted for 10 issues. So with this volume completed now, by the way, my final thoughts on this run, it's an amazing run for Deadpool. And I do plan to read more stuff anyway, but the only other complete collection that I do want to finish up eventually reading the stuff for him by this particular character from this writer is the stuff Wolverine. I've already reviewed his Wolverine Origin series, which is really good. But I would probably say I probably reviewed a good chunk of his time at Marvel. I don't know if I finished up his time at Marvel yet. Let me take a look here. Because I know I reviewed a lot for his time at Marvel. Because I know I reviewed Wolverine Origins, good chunk of Wolverine Volume 3, which he basically did. Let's see. From Marvel, let's see. The only thing left to go for him are... Let's see. For ongoing wise... Well, I'm looking up here. Let's see. I'd probably say that the only thing really left to go for him that's an ongoing series is probably Ghost Rider. And that's a Ghost Rider... Yeah, just Ghost Rider, because mostly put that actually just Ghost Rider and Spider-Man Single Web, and that's the only ongoing series left to go for him. Aside from those two ongoing series, I've covered a majority of his time at Marvel. So you might think, okay, what actually is left Marvel for him? Spider-Man Single Web. Let's see. Let's see. Excuse me. Deadpool Nerdy 30. Bullseye Greatest Hits. Supreme Power Nighthawk. Punisher versus Bullseye. Amazing Fantasy, 15, this is of course second volume. An issue of Marvel Adventures, Star of the Slayer. And Hit Monkey Bullets and Bananas. And that's it. Yep. So... those are the books left to go for him, but yeah, I reviewed a lot of really big stuff for him, and I really, I still to this day love his work for Marvel. It's a shame he doesn't work anymore, surprisingly. Yeah, I don't know why. Alright, next up it is X-Men Epic Collection, Volume 17, called Dissolution and Rebirth. This collects issues from Kenny X-Men 240 to 667. This is a very weird era for the Kenny X-Men series. There's a reason for that. Because it doesn't necessarily focus on the X-Men. Because they're only here for like the first 2 or 3 issues. And then they just stop appearing in the book. And the book becomes sort of a spotlight book. Like the 2 issues focus on Wolverine. There's 3 issues focus on Psylocke because it ties to the events of Acts of Vengeance. There's even a 3-parter that features Deadpool, the debut of Gambit. Yes, seriously, debut of Gambit. With Oro, aka Storm, turned with Child. Now, the writing of this book is by Chris Claremont. Now, you might recognize these artists, especially since 2 of these artists jumped to Image just about 2 years after these issues came out. Actually, like the following year. Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, Rick Anardi, Karen Dreyer, Bill Jacista, Mike Collins, and Wallace Porchito. These just came out from December 1989 to... Excuse me. September 1990. We also have Forge forming a new team. Yes, this is sort of a nod to... Excuse me. No! Excuse me, mate. Sorry about that. Yeah, so, nod to Giants X number 1. Forge from the team because the guy needed an X-Men team because book called X-Men. But I like the stuff basically like Kirk's coming in here. The only thing I don't like about this at this particular era for X-Men is that there's no X-Men team. It's just basically a bunch of spotlight stories. My guess is there's even a couple of focus on Forge. Yeah, Forge gives a 2-part solo story for himself. Now, excuse me. He must have a reason for this, of why he basically did this for the X-Men. And mostly put, there's also a little bit of build-up here for the events of the Extinction Agenda. Excuse me, which I believe came the following year after this one, because the very next story that came after this one was Executioner's Song. was that later led into a long-running storyline in the 90s for the X-Men, the Legacy Virus, started by Strife, which didn't get cured until the early 2000s, like just before I got into comics. But in case you're curious, though, have I reviewed the very next trade that comes right after this particular one? Now, this is volume 17. And you might think, okay, what about... let's say, the very next trade, volume 18? No, I have not reviewed 18 yet. But 19, yes, I have reviewed 19 already. That was pretty much the end of Chris Claremont's run for the book. Yes. Now, there has not been a release of volume 18 yet, per se. Now you might be thinking, okay, what exactly was in Kenny X-Men 268? You might ask. Was it like the Extinction Agenda, you might ask? No, it just basically just some more spotlight stuff for the X-Men. That's most of what it is. Now, these issues, is these issues debut of Jumbo Lee? No. Other people. But yeah, it's more spotlight stuff and then it leads to Extinction Agenda. It's like 2 issues by its own and then it's basically Extinction Agenda. That's most what happens next year. Yeah. I'm surprised basically that book is not released yet. Yeah, it's kind of weird though. The Extinction Agenda is no epic collection for that one. You're thinking, really? There isn't? Yeah, there isn't. In case you might be asking, I do not know the reason for that. No, not really. But I'm happy to get more of a... But yeah, there is a collection that does collect this stuff. But for some reason, it doesn't collect the issues that came just before this crossover came out. Excuse me. Yeah, there's actually 2 issues that basically 2 stable issues that we had that crossover. And mostly that was mostly a lead up into stuff with a future song, which led into the original 5 X-Men who were part of X-Men at that point in time rejoining the X-Men. So we kind of built to an end of the original X-Factor for that one. But this is good. I enjoy this one. Give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Just really good stuff there. Yep. But yeah, that's be pretty much it for Circular Review. Basically, I'm going to save the Great Job Feed and Bleach for tomorrow. I'm hoping to get a couple of them done before I go to the movies tomorrow. Go see Black Panther. Okay, next video. Bye.